Talks Retail Fast 5, brought to you in partnership with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Fireworks, SPS Commerce, and Sezzle. Chris, let's move on to headline number 3. Under Armour has named John Varvatos its new Chief Design Officer. According to Chain Store Age, Varvatos, who started consulting for the brand earlier this year, will oversee the design studios in New York, Baltimore, and Portland, Oregon. Oregon.
Wow. Nice. Those Oregon people are pissed off.
I know. I'm
they
sorry.
Hate that. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's sorry. It's okay.
So he will also lead the creative design and direction of the company's full portfolio across apparel, footwear, and accessories. Varvatos joins Under Armour following decades of experience with brands that include Polo, Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, and Converse. He is credited with creating the boxer brief at Calvin Klein, and is perhaps best known for his rock and roll influenced namesake menswear brand, John Varvatos, with which he is no longer involved. Chris, what are your thoughts on Mr. Varvatos taking it up at Under Armour in Oregon?
Yeah. Well, this is where I'm going to be the contrarian me, in a lot of ways I'm famous for. But I actually don't like this move.
Really?
I'm going against the grain intentionally. I think this move smells of a new CEO, like, Under Armour has in Stephanie Linnartz. And it smells of a move that someone would make when your only experience prior to taking over an apparel retailer is 25 years at Marriott International. And I think years at another hotel before that. So, it's the move of hire the big name guy, try to juice the brand. But at the end of the day, the other part of this story that's interesting to me is dude is 68 years old, Ann. I looked it up.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be ageist, but so there's no telling. I mean, just with that, you have no telling how much juice he has left. But at most, what does he have? 10 years? So what happens after that? So it seems like it doesn't seem like a really effectual move. It seems like the sign of having a CEO at the helm that doesn't understand what apparel and retailing particularly is all about. Now, with that said, I do love whenever Ken Pilot wears his John Varvatos jacket, whenever we see him at NRF in New York. So shout out to Ken. But I don't know. You probably like this though, don't you? I think you love this story.
I do like it.
Do you really?
I think this is what Gap should have been doing. I mean, I think you need someone who your design team can look up to, who a name customers might recognize, to get them interested in the brand again. I mean, I think even if he is only there for 10 years, I still think he'll give his unique fashion and industry point of view to make Under Armour be differentiated a little bit in the market. I mean, I don't think it's going to move them into a number one position to really compete with the Nikes and Lululemons, but I do think that I'll be excited to see what he comes up with. And he's already been producing some products, so I assume we'll start to see some of the influence that he's had on the design team in the coming lines. But I think, you really do need to make yourself stand out, especially like they're talking about in this article, as people are wearing this product more daily, not just for exercise wear, which Under Armour is synonymous with. So I think, the proof will be in the pudding. We'll have to see what the actual clothing looks like and just how much influence he's had on it. But I think it could be really cool to kind of have that design edge to the Under Armour apparel that makes me go to Under Armour for something to discover in that category outside of my typical Lululemon or Nike.
See, I'm gonna push back on you based on something you told me yesterday, which I didn't know. I mean, I kind of knew, we talked about it, but I didn't know the full story. But I still think I think it's a retread. I think it's going back to a retread, idea or brand here in a lot of ways in who he is. But you talked about, how Jenna Lyons came to be at J. Crew. She was coming out of design school and then worked at J. Crew and made her chops and just made it known that she was good at what she did. And Mickey saw that and, gave her a lot of power in defining what that brand was. I got to imagine that there's people out there like that could you do the same thing for a lot less money, probably too, and could potentially get a lot more tailwind behind their back. I don't know. That's just my take. This feels like a retread idea to me.
Could be. I mean, but Under Armour's been around for how long, and what is unique about Under Armour? What's getting you to go buy that product? I don't know that there is something, so I think it could be worth a shot. And like I said, it's definitely going to come down to how is the product differentiated? If it's not, then I agree with you. This was not a smart move. But
well,
I mean,
and what's unique is we must protect this house 3. Did you read that article? Like that's their new like brand campaign. We must protect the house 3. Like I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. 3.0.
All right.
This is not gonna help you.
I know, kind of. Yeah, I know, right? Seems like kind of a retread too.